Name That Price is a really cool series we've been doing on the channel where one of us names a directive and then both of us state the quote that we price that directive at. We have the amazing Matt Alonzo with us today, and we're actually gonna do things a little bit differently. We actually have a full list of music videos, and with our experience, we're actually gonna try to guess their individual production budgets. All right, Matt, you ready for the first one?
I'm ready, let's do this.
All right, Matt, next video that we're gonna be looking at is MHD Bebe featuring Dadju.
J'ai commencé ma vie sans toi, je vais pas terminer sans toi. On se quitte pour se retrouver et ça recommence à chaque fois. Y'a pas de seconde chance avec toi, moi j'ai trop parlé. Des petits caprices tout le temps que j'ai pris sur moi. Elle se rappelle de chaque seconde, des premiers rendez-vous qu'on se faisait en Zoom. Elle dit que je fais l'effet d'une bombe, elle est prête à me suivre même dans ma tombe. Mais parle pas d'amour dans ma vie, j'ai trop donné.
Looks like some luxury brand commercial for, like, you know, Versace or something.
Yo, this isn't a music video, right? It's like then the soft lens, like with the dream filter on the lens, whatever it's called.
It's probably a Promise filter of some sort.
This video just reminds me like an ad. DP work is great. And the lighting.
Lighting's great, nice and soft. Definitely have a few filters on that lens. Pro mist. I mean, that lighting's beautiful. They also used, you know, a teal orange color correction.
How much that location?
You just never know how much these locations are. It's really hard to actually judge it based on, you know, it being in another country. I have no idea what country they shot this in.
Les mêmes questions 100 fois, ça va mal finir. Si t'écoutes tout le monde, nous deux, ça va pas durer. C'est toi qui vas donner la force à nos ennemis. Dans toutes les bouches, c'est Dadju, Dadju. Tu n'as pas compris que là-bas, c'est tous des jaloux.
France, probably. I think it's France, because that's where Dadju's at.
I know Dadju's from France, but he also came to America because it was going to be cheaper to shoot here.
Gotcha.
That location in Los Angeles would be $50,000-$60,000. Yeah, that location, like that, how big that was when they showed us the drone shot. Because I tried to get a couple mansions like this in Santa Monica, and yeah, the actual location itself, maybe 20 grand, 25,000. But then the amount of things that you are required to bring, as far as phone boards, where you're allowed to park, shuttle people in, all these things that you have to, that come with the location, that you have to pay for outside of the location, as far as just being able to, you know, meet the requirements. Yeah, so it looks like it's all one location. That's like 2 or 3 setups. They haven't really changed. Maybe the number one has changed. And when I say number one, that's going to be your main talent. If there's ever a featured track, featured song, or featured artist, he's number 2 or she's number 2, and so forth and so on. So, you know, your number 2, which is Dadju, he stays in the same outfit. He looks fly as heck.
Yo, that wardrobe, the wardrobe on everyone is just amazing.
And actually, I love this artist. I've seen a few videos from this artist, and I've also seen videos where Dadju's the lead talent and he's on the track, and them two together, I mean, I love their music, so I'm a huge fan. Just knowing Dadju and working with him previously and kind of looking at the budget range, I can kind of gauge what they're looking like. They definitely did a day or two of, you know, with the stylist as far as fitting wise. I know how big both of these artists are, so that definitely plays a factor in terms of how much money the record label, or how much money, even if they're independent, you're going to be willing to spend, because you know you're going to recoup it. And they're not new artists, meaning that they've already established that they can generate the income back. So that definitely plays a factor into how much money they can actually, you know, acquire for a budget. Something that, you know, you have to think about off the cuff.
So guys, I've been editing for 15 years, and I'll be the first to say that I do use templates like the ones here to save some time. Millions of video creators like you and me do this, but unfortunately it can get really expensive, especially when you're talking about $50 for a one-off license. Now guys, from video editor to video editor, what if I told you I could get you access to unlimited downloads and usage of a massive library of quality digital products that can be used in personal and commercial projects, and it would only cost you $9. I'm talking about title packs, transition packs, effects packs, motion graphics packs, stock footage, social media packs, lower thirds packs, basically any digital product you could ever dream of having. Sounds great, right? Well, with this special offer to the Envato Elements library, you can get complete access for only $9. Click on the link in the description to take advantage of this deal. Now let's get back to the video. All right, Matt, I'm gonna give us 2 minutes and we're gonna state what we think the budget for this video was, starting right now. All right, Matt, you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, we're gonna put our budgets down here at the bottom of the screen. 3, 2, 1, and bam.
Okay, $210,000 for a one-day shoot.
No, yeah, 210,000, 1 day shoot.
So then you thought the last video was one day shoot too?
No, that was 5 days.
So you thought it was 5 days too, though?
Yeah, I thought the other video was 5 days, but I knew this video was 1 day.
So the other video was 5 days, 70 grand. This one's a 1 day.
If anything, I would come up on the last video. Again, I would say you're at 50 to 60 a day just for the location.
I'm over budget. I always like to guess over budget so that if we come under, there's other, more money to spend as opposed to thinking lower and then trying to ask the record label for money at the end. So I'm also exaggerating a little bit, padding a little bit, but yeah, somewhere in that range for sure.
Okay, so let's say 50 or 60K for the location. Wardrobe, let's say 10K for wardrobe. That leaves about 150K for production. 1 day,
I would say about 150, 140, something like that. I mean, these artists are bigger artists, and it looks like.
How much? So say your crew. We're talking about your crew. How much would that cost? G&E crew and camera, DP and producer.
The producer is going to take 10% of the budget right away, and then also the director is going to take 10% of the budget right away. That's just off riff, and then normally the production company will take another 5 to 10, and that's off the riff. You know what I mean? And then if you have a music video rep, they're taking 5%, so that's already whatever percentage that is. But I'm not really thinking about that right now. So when I look at the crew, it all depends on how the video was, what the video entails and how the lighting is. I think for this particular video, they got a high-end DP, somebody who had done a lot of commercials and advertisement work, definitely with like soft skin beauty work. Those type of DPs run in the range of about, I would say, anywhere from $5,000 to $15,000 a day. This looks like, let's just say $7 grand a day, but they also probably had a prep day, maybe 1 or 2. And then when you're talking that high of a budget for the DP, you also have to trickle down. They're going to bring in their gaffer, they're going to bring in their key grip, and they're going to bring in the rest of the grip. So those guys are going to be somewhat budgeted around what the DP is. You're not going to find a DP for $7,500 or $10,000 who's going to have a gaffer or a key grip who make $1,000 a day. It just doesn't happen. They're going to want to bring in their guys, and their guys are going to be somewhere around their range. It's so $7,000, $7,500 or $10,000 for your DP. Then you're probably going to pay about $5 grand for your $5 to $7 grand for your gaffer, and then it's going to go down for there. So I'd say altogether with crew, makeup, everything, production design, all that stuff, I would say about $40,000 to $50,000 for this video. And then you still have your equipment. So like your equipment for this video is probably about 20 grand, 25,000. They had a huge truck. It looks like they shot on the Alexa. That's just my guess. The cameras are not that expensive, but just the grip trucks and all the lighting that they're bringing into these things. They definitely had a generator because you're probably not running power from this older house, or even that house that's that luxury. They're not gonna let you run their juice from there. So you're bringing in a big Jenny. And probably be porta potties because they're not letting this whole crew go into the bathroom.
I'll be honest, I had no idea that DPs cost that much. You said 10 to 15K?
I mean, yeah, for like I've worked with, really high-end DPs and not even high-end, but I mean, established DPs that have done a lot of work. Like for instance, like Ponch, who does, all Tyler the Creator's stuff and Odd Future and everything. He did a lot of videos for me. He also did Celebration video for me, and that video, I think his range was at least $5,000 to $7,000 at the minimum. And then on top of that, any prep day that they go to, they're taking half of their day rate for a prep day. So whatever their rate is, they're taking that on a prep day. So whether they go scout the location, it's half their rate. So say their rate was $5,000, they're gonna go scout with you. That's $2,500 off top. So then they're gonna prep the equipment, $2,500. So that's $10,000 right there just for 2 prep days and a DP day.
How much would the editor make for something like this?
$500.
Hearing stuff like this makes me not want to edit.
That's why I don't edit for anybody else other than myself. And then when I do edit for other people, or I'm going to, or they ask me to, I really quote them at.
You don't really mean $500, but you mean like just something significantly less, like realistically.
To be honest though, I wouldn't be surprised if this editor made $500. You know what I mean? You would hope that they would pay more. Now, if they went to a post house, which most people nowadays don't go to a post house, you get an editor who's at home and who's hungry. That kid's gonna do it for X amount of dollars, and then they take that offline edit, they go online it at an actual post house and color grade it there. But that's significantly less money, and it has nothing to do with the actual edit of the video. So that's normally what they do, because most productions don't think about editing while they're doing their video. Yeah, they have certain numbers allocated to it, but like they're not really thinking about it in terms of like, we have to stay hard with this unless there's a lot of visual effects. Now, there wasn't a lot of visual effects here, so they don't have a set budget for that, the editor and all the post. And they also may work with the post house multiple times. So if you're working with 5 to 6 videos a month with a certain post house, then yeah, your videos are going to be a little bit cheaper as far as editing wise, or the same editor kid. And if the director's editing as well, then that director is probably gonna he's gonna be somebody he's not paying $5,000 for editing and $5,000 for directing or whatever. Like, maybe he'll take $2,000, and if he really likes the project, I mean, I've edited videos for nothing, you know what I mean, of my own. Say you go over budget just a little bit, and you had $2,000 or $3,000 for your editor. I mean, that money is coming. The money that you go over budget is going to come directly, usually from that sort of category, because all you have left is post-production in terms of budgeting days. Yeah, you also got to remember that DP it has director in the actual name, and DPs are really, there's awards for, I know there's awards for editors as well, but people just don't think like that. A lot of directors who don't edit, they don't really see the vision all the way through, so there's not a ton of importance given to them. Now, I'm an editor myself, and I've been an editor, and I know that I can make or break a project just alone. And a DP can too, but a DP also touches the camera, sets the camera settings, and lights it, sets the emotion of the scene or the actual image. So they're just given more more importance and more money.
They're doing a lot of work, for sure.
They're the director of photography.
That's crazy, Matt. Lots of good info there.